Welcome, hosts and germs, to the 6th episode of the Breakroom podcast, brought to you by Corp Productions.
Yeah.
Podcast of the new year! Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen!
Yeah. Your first podcast of the year. Yay!
And we've really kicked the year off with a bang because we opened the year off with the Patreon, with a new podcast and a new episode of Terminal Secrets.
Yes.
Finally!
That was the best.
Woo!
We have not released an episode of Terminal Secrets since last year, August.
Yeah, that's
So
true,
it's
though.
been 4 months. We've been in 4 months of heavy production with Terminal Secrets. And we, of course, have to thank the wonderful Needle Stitch for stepping in at the last second to take over the role of Butterfly Stitch.
Yeah.
Nice.
And, of course, big thank you to Mr. James Kelly, who single-handedly edited this episode for the first time. Terminal Secrets was edited entirely by Mr. James Kelly, and the quality shows.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? The quality.
And finally, big thank you to Mr. Skybolt, who wrote most of this episode.
Yeah. Another staple concocted by me.
Not gonna lie, when I was reading through it and I was reading the lines, I was just like, damn, dude, I've known Sky for forever, and this is fucking, I didn't expect this coming out of you, man. It was awesome.
That was awesome, dude. Holy shit.
I've been looking forward to this podcast just to talk about the production of the episode because, I was actually surprised by myself at the end of it.
Fucking, dude, it got really dark and I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved every second of it.
It was a big surprise for me as well, because the thing is that Skybolt pitched this episode to me in January of 2015, and all he pitched at the time and was, okay, cool, they're limiting the food. That's all he said to me. So when I actually received the script, it was like, my God, this is so cool! I had no clue what to expect.
It's it was nice. I basically how do I begin? I think I've posted this in a few different places, but the whole writing process started in Vegas, which is really just appropriate for everything that ended up going on because basically it was, we had talked about the prompting for what the stable would be and about a food limited or a scarcity kind of thing, and so I really just started turning the gears okay, what really happens when you impose starvation basically on an entire society. And so I looked at the most aptly fallouty examples, such as the famines that happened in communist China and even the Soviet Union.
Yeah, you bastard.
And there's some horrible things that happen when people get hungry. And so, basically from there, I just followed the path. James had established or really solidified the robot character. So I'm like, we could play with her a little bit more too. Our lovely Stella.
She was Stella, man, dude.
That's the other thing. So Stella, as you should know, listening to this, is a Crusader mainframe. However, Skybolt, in his very first pitch of an episode of Terminal Secrets, named the character Stella, and without asking me or discussing it with me, he wrote it as Stella, and he kept writing it as Stella, and he only ever referred to her as Stella. And episode 1, I went through and slowly just changed it all to Crusader mainframe, because he didn't just have the characters describe her as Stella. No. He had her dialogue written as Stella says this, Stella says that. So when episode 3 finally came along, I decided, okay, you know what? Just to save myself some editing effort, here's an in-universe reason why she's going to be called Stella.
The weirdest
Give Skybolt his way.
I don't remember why I picked that name at all. I'm seriously befuddled where that came from, because I remember the name came first, and then after the fact, I retroactively applied the acronym to it, the Stable Tech. An experimental logistical logic apparatus. That's another English fun. Goes logistical and logic, even though it has the same root, totally different meanings to the word. Logistical means she is the delivering, or the delivery mechanism of, and then logic being that she's fucking AI. So I had a lot of fun with that, and then from there I was like, okay, so now we're just gonna go full Portal 2 with freaking GLaDOS.
And then there's comments galore of people not understanding and being like, "Oh, that's redundant."
Yeah, this is sort of my in before for that then.
So is Stella alive? Is she a living sentient AI?
No. Okay. So the Crusader mainframe AI is still incredibly advanced. It was designed in secret before the war. I can't say who it was from because who designed it. That is a plot point.
Plot point.
What's that?
What's all about
What's that?
But anyway,
Okay.
So what Stella is she's she's a learning AI is how I'd describe her. She isn't sentient in that she can make her own choices. All of her choices are guided by her prime directive. All of her choices have to direct her down the line to this ending. I mean, basically think of it like this. A smart AI is character choice in Fallout New Vegas. Stella's AI is character choice in Fallout 4. She is, as long as it accomplishes her goal, as long as it accomplishes the goal of the people controlling her, rather, that's what it is.
She
Whereas
also
a
happens
smart
to be...
AI, a sentient AI can do whatever they want. They have a much wider range of choice.
And so Stella is the player that just chooses the sarcastic option every single time.
I want to know where she learned her sassiness from, because it isn't from Blue Ball, because he's just kind of a bit pissy,
well, actually,
not sarcastic.
I do want to talk about that. So
let's do it.
Well, so what happened with Pissy? So Blue Ball is pissy, but he's only really pissy with Butterfly, because Butterfly is really pissy with him.
How could you not be pissy when your entire name and existence is defined by failure to copulate? I mean, that would make everyone a little bit angry.
So
Born that
Blue Ball.
way.
Oh my.
What I sort of realized between episode 1 and episode 2, there were a lot of change-ups.
That you are a dark god that imposed this existence on him.
So there were a lot of shift-ups between episode 2 and episode 3, in terms of story, in terms of content, in terms of the style we delivered in, and just. So one of those things was the Crusader mainframe. We felt that that the Crusader mainframe was, her main job is delivering exposition, and that is the main purpose of this character, to help catch up. And the problem is that we hate exposition. Well, I hate exposition. Skybolt loves exposition.
I love exposition.
But see, exposition works in an audiobook. It's not as great in a radio drama.
That was an intentional choice I fixed for episode 3, is I made it more of that dialogue between the three. I did fix that.
Oh, absolutely, you did.
I am
and
learning.
Works,
absolutely, I'm a learning.
I'm learning, guys.
Where
always choose
what is learning?
We figured if Stella is going to have, if Stella's going to have to deliver all this exposition, she may as well have an actual personality to her. So we've given her, so we have given her that. She's slightly more sassy, but then she also, she doesn't like Butterfly. She's clearly
Nobody
a big
fucking
force.
likes Butterfly.
I like Butterfly.
It's not true.
Spare Parts likes Butterfly.
But you said
Not
Butterfly
true.
likes
Yeah.
Spare Parts likes Butterfly, but then again, Spare Parts is a hoe.
Yeah, Spare Parts
Yeah,
likes
Spare-
everybody.
Oh,
Like
We haven't seen her be a hoe. We've only heard of her be a hoe. So get right in it.
I had to dial down a lot of the Spare Parts content.
Thought Patrol.
So in episode 2 of Terminal Secrets, there's a scene where Butterfly goes to get advice from Spare. She goes and Spare's busy fixing an engine she's doing maintenance on an engine in the engine room, or something along those lines. Yeah, she's doing a maintenance thing. I'm not Skybolt. I don't understand machines. If Skybolt had written episode 2, it would have been most of the episode would have been set inside the maintenance room, and then you would have had maybe a little bit of content based around the actual story. He would have just given you the engineer's guide.
So much
but the original version of that scene had spare parts underneath the engine, hiding from her boss, reading porn.
Oh my gosh! Oh.
So and she has this conversation with Butterfly, very similar to the one that she has in the episode, except the entire time she's just going through this dirty mag, and every now and then, very much like in Futurama, with Scruffy the janitor.
Yeah, that's great.
Just every now and then, midway through the conversation, you just hear every now and then you just hear the sound effect of her licking her lips, turning a page.
I love that. That's a great reference.
Oh, that should have been in there.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I decided to remove it specifically because, as an introduction to her character, I didn't really want to push that angle too much. That wasn't the focus of that conversation, and it was going to distract from the priority there. So spare parts is a hoe. You will see her being a hoe. You will hear her being a hoe.
Just wait for the holiness.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, I thought I was the only one dying today.
Yep.
Apparently I just killed James. God.
Yeah.
Guys. Also, we have we have a shout out. We have 2 shout outs. Oh my god, guys, we have 2 shout outs. We now have. Hang on.
Holy shit.
We have two patrons, and we are making $9 a month.
Nice.
We are almost about to hit our first goal. So let's have our shout out to because for our first patrons, Walt Lawrence, who I've met before because he is a South African Brody, and he is a really nice guy who donated within 10 minutes.
Probably 5 actually. It's pretty quick.
I think his finger's already ready.
Sanguinum Luna.
Yeah.
Both of them they both have pledged $5, and they get early downloads of all releases and sneak peeks at future content. Wonderful stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
I'm just waiting for them to all join the Discord.
Wait for
Because
them.
neither have joined. I don't want to.
So how is that gonna work? How is the Discord gonna work?
Yeah.
We just constantly say thank you as soon as they join.
Thank you.
Literally, it's that. Yeah.
Spam things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Invite them
much.
in a call. Don't let them leave, and just keep saying thank you. Over and over again to everybody.
That fast as Derby.
Do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, your patronage will help us make even better stuff for the future. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It'll keep muffins in my cupboard.
She will steal all the funds and just spend them on muffins.
But yeah, no, this the writing was what James and I alluded to. I think it was in the new Breakroom podcast episode where we talked about like following up the Star Wars with the Death Star, and so you have a lot of deaths, and so then you go into very personal, very specific kind of deaths. That's basically what got applied here as well.
Exactly. That's the big thing with Terminal Secrets is that we open up with the
die.
Everyone dies. They all die.
You open up with the big genocide, and if you've listened to this podcast, I'm sure there'll be. So you will have noticed that this episode we chose to lay off the
genocide.
We chose to lay the creepy voice inside of Butterfly's head.
Oh yeah, for no apparent reason, no reason at all.
Well, so I do want to go into a little bit about. it. So in episode 1, we killed Pink Pippin. Episode 2, we had Butterfly listening to her voice, and of course the voice of Pink Pippin could be heard in the whisper in the back of her head. Unfortunately for us, the voice actress for Pink Pippin is no longer available for us to work with. Her schedule just became way too heavy with school.
She died.
So this was one of those cases where we had to write around that. So this episode, so we chose to remove the voices from this episode to give us time to write around that. Don't worry, we're not abandoning that storyline at all. We kind of need that storyline to be a thing, but we did need time to just write around that. And we thought it'd be best to just be upfront and honest with you guys about that right now.
Yeah. And also, maybe a male voice would be better for that internal, that fractal of her mind.
That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah. Skybolt, do Pinkie Pie. There we go.
Oh, I can do that. Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh shit!
You gotta do it.
Whoa! Jesus! That might actually be better than some of the women who do Pinkie Pie.
You see, you underestimate me when I'm on cold medicine. I can do great things when I'm on cold medicine.
The biggest problem with voice actresses going for Pinkie Pie is they try too much on the voice. They forget the acting.
Yeah, no, that's always the key, and that's really like the number one rule of voice acting is it's actually the acting first and voice second. People are going to be much easier to believe a voice if the acting follows it up.
Yeah. A lot of people seem to forget her squeaks.
Yeah, no, the squeaks are the fun part. It's just like with Sweetie Belle, like the cracking and the,
Well, we
Yeah, so
Sure.
it's always great. And
great.
It was great too. Is I got some writing done yesterday on Confession 7, which is good too. Again, the magic of cold medicine. So it's everything's trucking along, and now we have Eternal Secrets out, so it can have its time in the sunlight. And then Confessions 5 is on the way. It's soon. Basically, once I get fully better and my voice is fully back for doing the DJ Pony, then I can record those last lines and get the last edited, and hopefully soon, 4 to 6 weeks, hopefully. So
what you're saying is that you're more creative when you're on drugs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Any kind.
Remember, audience, if you need to be creative, take drugs.
I mean, that's what worked in the 80s, man. Oh man.
Just like Little Pips, work better with drugs.
Absolutely.
That's
the thing too is you want uppers, you want amphetamines or buzzers or happy
You
pills.
really gotta stop, Sky. You
That's
can't
the
be
key.
giving people advice like that.
That's the key.
Shut up.
Anything that ends with morpho.
We do not actually condone
Wow.
using.
No, this is
So
all a bit.
bad.
Absolutely, a bit because I'm on cold medicine. So no, that was a fun episode. It got very nice and personal with the whole family connection, because really a lot of the episode there's a lot of layered symbolism in there that I try to get across, like the fact that there's 3 different Overmares. There's like the really meek one at the beginning that has no voice, and then you have the crazy like despot in the middle. And then you have the third one that is sort of like basically stuck in her ways. She doesn't have enough courage to change things.
I feel so sorry for that last Overmare. I loved her. Like, I felt really sorry.
The middle Overmare, the Overmare in the middle was the best one.
Oh yeah, sure.
Just the Overmare's voice actress was fantastic.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. That was so good to edit. That was.
Yeah,
Wait,
voice actress.
The Overmare in the middle.
Part.
We didn't have a voice actress for the Overmare in the middle. So I did my squeakiest, highest pitched voice, gave it to Kelly, and we made me a woman.
Yeah,
so
with
that's
the chip clip and that certain place applied.
So now you know, guys.
It was rather interesting to edit though. It was literally just pitching James Lamont up until you couldn't understand him, and then just filtering him so it didn't sound like it was being pitched, and Like like pitching shit up just makes that thing sound really bad and go out of
You
whack.
have to be very careful.
Yeah.
Like I did a little bit of pitch like manipulation for Confessions 4, which I'm getting away from the character, like the dialogue-y in voices. But for her, I thought it was fun because it mixes things up. Every Confessions, I try something new, and I think it's worth it. Got to experiment.
Was that Blake that had a question a second ago?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah, we have a big panel today.
The funniest part of that episode was the distraction part of the overseer.
Oh God,
I was
yes!
like, I love my ass off of his reaction.
Thistle's reaction was, "What? There's no other way. I can think of 100 other ways."
That was awesome. That was amazing. That was like, yeah.
I loved it. I absolutely loved how that came. And the Overman loved how it came too.
Yeah, the problem is too many things were coming in that episode. That was basically the problem. I might have to put up the demo too because I had a lot of fun recording that demo.
Well, no, because that demo will be part of that demo will fall under our new Patreon rewards.
Oh, that's true too. That's a better use for that. No, that's really funny. Because people have to remember that I do the full demo of everything I write, and so you get to hear me doing all those silly voices.
Nice.
It's funny because the original. Actually, no, that's not what I was going to say. That episode, despite the fact that episode featuring so many people having orgasms and having sex and doing all of the stuff, and then there's Blue Ball.
Yeah. I think he's got a chance. He's got a chance in there, Him and Blue Butterfly, they're getting along, they're together-ish.
Yeah, he's kind of like Raw Unstoppable. It's like you feel for him. You're like, oh, you can do it, man. You got it. You got a heart of gold. You can do it.
Well, funnily enough, when Neil was running lines for Butterfly just before recording, she ad-libbed a really, really fantastic version of how that scene would go if Butterfly was storming into Blue Ball's room and like, okay, cool, we're going to have sex now.
Oh, you want me to do it?
Yes, do it. Let's do the thing.
Okay. So, like, the before or after she's drunk?
Oh, okay.
Before. No. So,
Good question.
She's already finished drinking everything in her room at this point. So she's drunk, she just needs to get drunker.
She's got to make herself appeasing.
Open the door!
Open the door.
What do you want? What do you want? I'm drinking. Are you drinking everything in my room? Yes. Why? We're gonna fuck.
All right.
What? No. Shut up. I just need to get
No, shut up.
I need to drink some more. I think you've had enough. No. I need to drink more. Passes out on the bed. Nothing happens.
Nope.
Blue Ball politely just covers her up and is just all nice about it. And
No name
gentleman
change tonight.
the next morning and she goes, "What the hell happened?" She's like, "Oh, we did some stuff." What?
That's some rough sex.
You came in my room and we had sex. What? No, I'm fucking with you. We didn't do anything.
Well, at that point,
we add on at the end.
At that point, it's kind of like, hey, it's kind of like, well, you didn't do anything. I, on the other hand, well, let's just say you should really go wash your mane. Actually, you know what? Just shave it all off. None of that. That's not coming out of your mane at all.
Oh my god.
But funny, in early drafts that I threw out, so it's okay for me to say it in the podcast of a scene like that, because the verdict, as far as you all know, as far as the listeners all know, the verdict of whether or not Butterfly and Blue Ball hook up is still a maybe. But I did write an early draft of what that scene would be like, and it was surprisingly similar to Needles. Butterfly comes in, already having finished most of the booze in her room. She's completely miserable. She starts drinking all of Blue Ball's, and it's like, what are you doing? I'm drinking everything. Why? Because we're going to have sex. and you need to be drunk. Yes.
I need to be very drunk.
I need to drink everything that you have before we can do this, Blue Ball. I'm kind of offended right now. You're getting laid. Deal with it. Just accept it.
Yeah.
I threw it out for obvious reasons.
There's got to be some kind of scientific formula for like amount of blood alcohol to like change in perception
Kill a
of
horse.
okay, that took you from a 4 out of 10 to a 7 out of 10. That's how much
No,
it
okay.
takes.
I was literally just watching like a documentary thing that talked about that, and the reason why people think somebody is attractive or unattractive is because they can see symmetry, and the more symmetrical somebody's face is, the more attractive they are to that particular person.
Yep.
But when somebody's drunk, they can't tell symmetry as much. So somebody can easily go from a 4 to an 8 in about 2 beers.
Oh, interesting.
What symmetry?
Interesting.
What symmetry is?
It's called the beer goggle effect.
Yes, it is. That was also one of the, that was one most well represented in the old Simpsons episode where they go to the Duffland and Lisa falls in the Small World River, and it's like, you know, liquid duff that's been there for 50 years or something. So she's like out of her mind. That was funny. I am the liquid queen.
So we also need to talk about our new mascot. Oh my god, she's adorable, guys.
She is adorable. She can punch you in the face and you die.
Yeah. That is the
Yeah,
best
but
part about that character. That makes me so happy.
She's not going to be punching you in the face because she's nice and she brings the gift of audio dramas.
Can we make her punch somebody in the face?
How about we make Ditzy punch someone in the face?
Okay.
That's in
I don't know if she has.
What's more in
her
character is
from
Ditzy
the
flying around and accidentally bumping into someone and knocking them over. That would be even cuter. It, like backs into them and bonk, right off a staircase.
Right off the staircase. My bad.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Do you think that the Balefire apocalypse was actually Ditzy's fault?
Wouldn't that be the most ironic? She's like
Oh my
transporting a
God.
weapon for the military and accidentally drops it on Manhattan. Whoopsie daisies!
I just don't know what went wrong.
I just don't know what went wrong.
That's like the equivalent of during the Cold War, all those accidental almost launches where it's like, oh no, it's a missile. No, it's a cloud. No, it's a missile. We should fire it. No, let's not do that right now, please. Oh man.
Well, it's funny. But what are the fucking the time that you lot in America almost nuked yourselves?
Oh, it was a good time. It's a great time.
Transporting nukes. I think some like in a plane or something above one of the Carolinas.
Yep,
and it
it's
drops
still
and
lost
lands
in
and
there.
doesn't.
They never found it.
And doesn't detonate. And the funny thing is that there is a sign out there, and there's a sign what's called nuclear mishap. And I was watching an episode of John Oliver, and the way he described it was they should replace that sign with another sign that says, "You guys, you won't believe what the fuck almost happened here."
Yeah, no, I used to live like right near the border of Virginia and North Carolina. And the thing is, a big part of North Carolina is military anyway because of Fort Bragg and some stuff. And yeah, it was I think it was a B-52 took off and went down or something. And there were 2 nukes, and they found one, never found the other one. It's there somewhere. But it's okay. We got
There's
like
a
10,000 of them, so it's all good.
Just a missing nuke
That's not
somewhere.
good. That's even worse.
How do you lose a nuke? How do you lose
Magic.
a nuke?
There have been a lot of nukes lost over time, actually. Like, one got lost near Spain. I think the Russians... I'm sure the Russians lost a lot, too. They just didn't tell everyone or anyone.
Yeah.
You know, you'd think people would take care of that item that can end all life on Earth.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
all good.
I mean,
Maybe.
that
That's
is
the reason why we have a standstill.
Maybe it was an inside job.
Illuminati confirmed.
secretly East Corp has all the nukes.
Absolutely.
We're just
We're gonna
gonna
split off to become our
start
own
pointing
country.
them. I don't know. We're just gonna start pointing them at YouTube channels, slowly eliminating the competition.
And Chirpy accidentally hit all the buttons.
First up, Stable Tech.
Yeah, it's like instead of annexing Canada, we annex the other Fallout Equestria YouTube channels.
And speaking of the other Fallout Equestria creators, I do feel like we should punt a new favorite of mine, which isn't actually a channel, it's more of a Discord server, and not the East Corp one. Because if you want to get into the East Corp one, you owe us $1.
Oh, I have a question real quick, because I didn't ask, because I've actually never been a part of this. How much swearing are we allowed to do?
Oh, as much as you
literally all the swearing.
Okay, because I'm like, I don't know how much I'm allowed to swear, and I literally just dropped a giant F-bomb.
No, I mean, we're pretty much 18 plus because of the nature of Fallout Equestria. It's like, we don't go crazy like, the South Park movie per se, but it's like, we're not limiting anyone either.
Anytime I swear, I'll just swear like Ditzy.
So, if anyone's listening to this who isn't already familiar with it, there is a very fantastic Discord server which is just full of Fallout Equestria creators, writers, artists.
That's cool.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's a really, really fantastic group of guys and gals.
Implying women. Isn't Fallout Equestria created by a woman? It's like, come on now.
Yeah, no, so I'll leave a link to the server.
No, I'm just kidding.
Below.
K-Cat's actually Todd Howard. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
K-Cat's a guy.
And there are some fantastic...
He's as short as a woman, though.
You good there, Sky?
I'm sorry. I'm
You
all
feeling
done.
the drugs?
But also,
Happy feel?
Fallout Equestria was created by God Howard. We all know this is true.
Absolutely. Yes. 5-5.
Because, as we know...
Manlet.
It's quite funny. So we are, at the moment, considering, and once again, this is not confirmed, so in our Fallout Equestria Behind the Scenes series, it'd be it'd be kind of expected that one of the characters we portray would be K-Cat, and we're kind of figuring out how we would go about doing that in a way that's funny but still kind of respectful. And Skybolt's suggestion was just make her Todd Howard.
Absolutely. Todd Howard, but as a pony. So you give him the hair and the eyes that lie to you and lie to the rest of us. And then the small little pip-sized frame, and bam, it's Todd Howard.
Yeah. And what you do then is we make all of his dialogue, or all of the K-Cat dialogue, basically just excerpts from Todd Howard interviews.
I agree.
Like not even with fixed editing. Like literally just chop out the piece you want, put it in, and just let it be.
Yeah, it's going to be like that South Park episode after they lost Chef as the character voice. And
yes,
so
exactly.
They just literally cut a bunch of words in there together. That's going to be it's going to be great.
It'd basically be like. So we may or may not do it like that, but we probably. I don't know if we're going to do it like that.
It is a good idea.
We could totally make
behind the scenes is so deep in pre-production right now. It's fucking crazy. We released those 2 promos. We'll be releasing one more promo, and then that series is going to go dark for a while. Not Fallout Equestria, the animated series, dark, just dark. Just normal production cycle dark.
How can something go dark if it hasn't started yet? That's like saying that the Big Bang was dark before then. It's like, no, it was just nothing.
Wow.
Or we could
it's getting easier to be salty as time goes on.
Yeah, now that we're further and further away from it, it's like, we're free of the gravity.
Look, we still have a lot of stories that will be more able
we're gonna
to
drip
tell.
them out little by little. We got 3 years of freaking behind the scenes content from Stable Tech.
Yeah.
One of the things we actually want to do, this was probably the first thing Skybolt and I wanted to do when we left Stable Tech. And rather, in the early days of talking about leaving, was we actually really wanted to do a documentary series. Well, just not a series, just one documentary about our time at Stable Tech. Because it's a pretty fascinating topic. Because what Stable Tech wanted to do, you could argue, is one of, if not the most ambitious fan project out there.
Yeah.
I mean, that was essentially that was what they were pitching, what they were wanting to do. What the dream was to basically be the fan-made animated equivalent to Game of Thrones, made completely on zero budget. And of course, we were never going to accomplish it, but we believed we would for a very long time. And there's a lot of
it's like a cross between Icarus and Great Expectations, basically.
There seemed to be a lot of promise in it too, mainly from the fan perspective.
So I think, but obviously we won't be doing that until
they completely fold.
We can't do it until Stable Tech closes its doors. We expect that Stable Tech will be closing their doors, but we just don't know how long that'll be. I went and checked I go and check on the Stable Tech YouTube channel every now and then. I hope they put up new videos and so on.
Here's my dream. If somehow I were controlling the universe and the actions of the remaining Stable Tech employees, I would make it so they get episode 1 put together the best they can, with the music and the voice acting and everything, and they end it with one of those funny endings where Little Pip goes outside and dies of radiation poisoning, and then they quietly shutter their doors from there. That would be a nice, sort of dignified exit from the stage.
Yeah. I don't want to see them crashing. I want to see Stable Tech releasing
episode 1. I always wanted to see one episode at least.
They put so much work in, and hell, when I say they, I do of course mean we.
Well, yeah, us. I mean, I was the voice director and the music director, and I better see that in the credits if they ever release episode 1. God damn it!
But my name won't be anywhere near episode 1 because obviously, with writers, you only ever have one writer's name attached to the episode.
I put together a 500 megabyte audio package in July of 2014 that separates out every individual scene, every individual voice segment, every piece of music with master layers and everything. It was so insanely detailed. It was after that Everfree thing. I spent like 3 weeks doing it, and it's like, and then they forgot about it for like 18 months. So, oh god.
I think I remember you talking about that at Everfree, Sky.
Yeah,
we were standing in line. We were waiting for the main events, and you're like, "Yeah, I just did this."
Well, yeah, because the thing is that what Stable Tech expected of us, and what we had to expect of ourselves to accomplish this goal, was to hold ourselves to the highest professional level. And it did help that many people in the studio were professionals in their field. I talk endless praise for Stable Tech's writing director who mentored me. I talk, and it continues on with many other people in the studio who were either expert knowledge or fully fledged professionals in their fields, and we all held ourselves to that. Well, when I say all of us, I mean most of us held ourselves to that standard.
Yeah, I don't know. I could never put blame on any one person or even a few individuals. It's more like the system as a whole just never worked together. It was, I don't know. It's almost like the perfect storm of, fan-made and amateur and online and time codes and different perspectives on how the production was supposed to go. I don't know. It's just sad.
It feels like Stable Tech should have started with a few Fallout Equestria shorts, test the water, test the puppets, test the things, and then accrue what they wanted to, and then hit with their major thing. At East Corp, you can almost say that we're doing that a little here at East Corp, is we are testing the waters of what we can do with our crew, with the audio dramas, with our current skill levels ourselves.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, later this year, we're going to be hitting you with some really, really awesome content. I'd say the star of 2017, of course, though, is Mr. James Kelly.
Woo!
Thank you.
For his secret project, which I genuinely, I think that East Corp will then be, 20,000 to 100,000 views on Mr. Kelly's video for this year, and it'll be 300 views for me and Skyball each. I can't tell you how excited I am for it.
Well, I mean, we've all got, audio stuff. We don't have any, oh shit, I don't know, am I allowed to say it's music? Yeah, we haven't got any music yet, so, other than, like, previous releases. So, I think it will be a nice boost. It'll be like, I think the only reason it was successful was because it was unexpected, and, like, there wasn't too much content. We've had Terminal Secrets and Confessions of a Wasteland Pony, and then it was like, here's some music, and it was like, well, hey, something new. That's it. That's why I say it was popular. And that's it, basically.
No, I was very happy about how that came together, and it introduced us to Mr. Kelly, and he came with us, and we were able to get East Corp really launched off at a pretty good pace with everything, all things considered.
Oh, absolutely. Kelly has been a really instrumental part of East Corp. If I had to edit Terminal Secrets myself, it would be a fucking nightmare.
Editing's the hardest part. That's what's taking me this long.
I am a video editor strictly. I do not touch audio.
Audio is tricky. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you have to be careful of.
Give me Premiere Pro, and I can give you something at a professional quality. Give me After Effects. Give me Audition or Pro Tools or Logic, and I will look at you dumbfounded.
Yeah, but I'm still not happy with the Terminal Secrets 3 mix, because there's a very annoying sounds of, like, want to use compression so that no one gets really loud or really quiet, but then if you put compression on fucking voiceovers, it sounds unnatural. So it's like constantly threading this fine line between over-compressed and not doing its job, and is stupidly loud and then stupidly quiet. So it's really like,
those are the things you plan on fixing with, like, an overall release. Like, once Confessions is totally done, I'm gonna put it all together in one big package, and I'll render some fixes and little final, little things that bother me at the end, and for all of that. It's time.
The thing that episode 4 I'm going to use, and I swear I bought the plugin. I definitely didn't get it illegally. Waves Vocal Rider. Basically, instead of compressing the sound, it just turns up or down. I'm just going to stick that on everything. Well, not everything. I'll just put it on all the voices, like the master bus of the voices, and then it'll just sort itself out, hopefully. And then I'll stick a little bit of compression on top of that, and everything will just be leveled, and I don't have to touch jack shit anymore. And then I can just focus on the sound effects, because they take ages. Like trying to get hoof steps. I have to record every single bloody one, and then it's like, okay, run, and then you've got to record like 3 characters running, and if anyone's like recorded hoof steps, you'll know it's really hard because they sound unnatural. No, horses don't walk like the sound effect, but then if you record, holy shit, I'm just rambling, but if you record effect, then like at the beginning of Terminal Secrets episode 3, they're walking, but because of how the sound effects are doing it, it sounds like one pony out of sync with itself, and it's frustrating because you can't do 4 hoof steps for one person. It's not what we're used to, and it's so frustrating. So you've always got to do the da 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 da. There's 4 fucking steps.
No,
that's why you gotta stray away from doing a hoof step, because those hoof steps are unnatural, and all you have to do is really make it seem more natural by getting an actual kind of like impact sound.
Coconuts.
Yeah. I mean, I reference the main show, and they have their hoof steps really quiet, and they don't actually record multiple hoof steps. I'm pretty sure they just do whatever's in the focus. Like there was I was watching like a scene. It was like Pinky's bouncing up and down. Then you got Rarity. It's the Bronte one. And the only hoof steps are her like landing. That's it. There's no other ones. There's no one walking. There's nothing else, and they're really quiet.
Most people just focus on the boing.
Yeah, the poing sound is funnier. I love it though whenever they do drop in realistic horse sounds, like when one of them like whinnies or like a, yeah, that's so adorable. Yeah. Just like sort of that like the disparity or like the you realize, oh yeah, they're horses.
It's gonna have all
I know.
those
For me, I
close-up
was most
photos,
proud
their
of
faces
my
saying,
freaking
"Horses."
footsteps in Horror of Maricello, the whole opening bit with the Duchess, because that was the only time I felt like I really got that rhythm, the four rhythm like working well. Other times I try to do the same. I just minimalize as much as I can.
Yeah, and just hide it and just fucking hope for the best.
That's the great thing with Confessions is it's a freaking sound room, so they have carpet. So I don't have to use it.
It's unnatural.
That's why
I mean,
I
that's-
just...
Yeah,
I
so
remember,
that's
I think I sent Mr. Kelly some sound effects. You could try.
Yeah, the
Developing
only
sound.
problem with them
Could always
are
record
their
our own
actual
sound effects.
voices, and they're outside, like they're on grass, not on metal, stable steel kind of thing,
Yeah.
and that's one of the issues.
Hey, if you need some Foley, I have a decent microphone. I could probably get you some good sound bits.
Yeah,
That's some sound bits.
can it record high end though? Because that's where
I mean,
I get really real shit. I can do.
it should be able to do decently. It's a freaking $400 microphone.
We talked about doing some of that previously, like our own Foley. The great thing, too, about sound effects is with making your own is just bringing, like, it's just like anything. Like, you look at some of the most famous, like, sound effects or sound designers in history, like with Star Wars. What is it? The TIE Fighters were they piano strings? Were they the ones that were piano strings?
I'm not sure.
I don't
I'm
know.
not sure how they made it.
Yeah,
Wasn't the blaster sound just a rock on a really long freaking metal tube?
yeah, and
Ye-
like
yes.
the lightsabers are an old CRT TV. Something in Star Wars is literally. Oh no, that was Doctor Who, wasn't it? The opening where it's like the woo. I think that's a
That's
piano
actually
string.
a cello, like a key on a cello.
Okay.
It was really weird what they did. I remember them doing a like small documentary about it.
Yeah. Anyway, and so you really, I mean, the key to sound effects is you can pull in just a few different sounds and then blend them together. That's the real art of it, is blending together in just the right way. So like the dinosaurs of Jurassic Park, I mean, they're all actual animals. They're elephants and zebras and gazelles and all that, and then they just blend them in a certain way. So then you have the iconic T-Rex or the iconic Velociraptor. And so that's what I do with a couple of the ones I designed for our Fallout Equestria stuff. Like the stable alarm actually was a really crappy alarm sound that I found online on some free site, and then I took that and mixed it with a different sound, and then like did a bunch of pitch corrections and layering, and then resynthesized it. And so that's that stable alarm you hear in like some of our songs and stuff.
Yeah, that's the best thing about sound effects and different things. You can just stack and mix and just do a bunch of weird stuff, and you'll end up with something that's nothing of what it's supposed to be, but it sounds more like it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like the struggling scene with the lady and her baby taken away or her dying. I can't remember which one.
Mm-hmm.
That was literally my desk, me rattling my TV and then slamming around in my bed.
Good
Like, that was it. It was all in my room.
Good time.
Wow.
It's pretty good to record. I don't know if anyone else like,
That's not dark at
you
all.
know, I had fun. Especially the just slamming around in my bed. That was surprisingly fun.
Well, yeah, because you're
Oh
not
my
getting a surprise
God.
hysterectomy in the process.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but like the screams for like the women. The reason I left it out was because the screams are just so terrible. Like, obviously, I'm not going to get my mum to record a scream out terribly. I'm not going to do a scream. And all the ones
I
on
can
the
scream.
internet were like.
That's why you do the
I'll scream
muffling
for you,
and you
bro.
the gag in your mouth.
Actually, shove a gag in your mouth.
Exactly. That's just my hand. That's that easy.
Yeah.
You gotta, make like a baby and rip it out. So,
That's
Oh
true.
man.
I did record my own voice in this one, as well as both my parents. I got I actually did some voice acting technically doing the 5 days a week. Probably they did a very good job. I'm very proud of them.
noise.
Yeah, Mr. Kelly is sitting in the credits section along with his mother, his father.
Yeah, I thought it was being quite cheeky to be like, oh yeah, by the way, their names are Nick and Fiona. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make sure they're in there for once, you know.
Yeah.
Like last one was like, you know, episode 1 was James's mum and dad. I think it was only mum. And then this one, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get both of them together, and you know.
Aww.
Yeah. Sneaking your family in is great. I snuck my little brother into episode 1, I think.
Really?
Mm.
What did you do?
It was in part of the screaming crowd.
There you go.
Oh.
Yeah, because that's a good way to like make crowd sounds unique and feel more real. Is you start off with some kind of general crowd sound effect you find somewhere, and then you layer in a few individual voices of your own, and it gives it that like color and character.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like there's
Sorry.
That way you can get voices
no,
saying
that's cool.
what you
What I
actually
was-
want said.
Cheeky break.
We've got so one of our voice actors, I think it was Forrest or something. He did 5 different voices, which kind of just it was like perfection basically. He like did 5, like they were like distinct voices, and it kind of went from like 3 people to about 10, and it was like yeah. So I'm quite happy with him if he's listening.
You're a good kid. Yeah. So I hit something up. I saw something really interesting. So, you know how Facebook brings up your memories, right? What happens what happened on this day, this year, 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years, so on. And it popped up for me the very first audio drama I ever wrote and directed and edited. It was and I went back and listened to it. Oh my god, it was so bad.
You've got to link it to us now. You've got to see.
Yeah, I'll link it to you when the podcast is done. It was a Guild Wars 2 audio drama.
Nice.
I made it 2 years ago. The first episode was 20 minutes long. I handled all the casting myself. One of the main characters' voice, I lost 3 voice actors. So in the 3 episodes we released, his character is voiced by a different dude each time.
What is this? Hey Arnold.
What the fuck? Oh.
And luckily the character was a robot, so I could sort of
tweak it a bit,
justify it a little bit.
Get away with it.
But unfortunately, that was also that was I edited it myself, so a lot of stock assets, a lot of stock audio assets. There was meant to be this point where there was this bar fight, and I couldn't find proper screaming noises, so I just went and found the soundtrack to the audio clip of a bar fight from an episode of Firefly, and I just stuck it in there.
Okay then.
And then I forgot to credit them.
That's fine. It's probably fine.
Don't worry,
Dang.
no one will know.
No
Well,
one
now
will
they'll know.
know.
No, I
I'll
know.
link it in. I'll link it through, and I'll make sure Sky puts it in the description.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It only got through. It only got through 3 episodes. It was originally meant to have a 10-episode run. The voice actors did a great job. Not all of them, but there are some of them, especially the 2 leads. 2 of the leads did such a fucking fantastic job. I must try and contact them again, though, of course, because I kind of dropped the production because I was a lot younger and stupider back then. I don't think they'll be willing to work with me again.
It's a tricky thing.
It's a tricky thing. You're worse when you're younger, as we saw when we released the original pitch video for Terminal Secrets.
That's why I'm doing all I can to get confessions finished as quickly as I can.
Before you turn 60 and you're like, dude, I released the first confessions so many years ago.
I'm mostly worried about losing VAs. It's like I'm the only one that I can trust, reliably if I want to keep doing it just myself. Just, in most pure terms. No offense to any of my lovely VAs who have been mostly fantastic. But, yeah. Yeah. Oh, God.
I'm so offended right now. Just
But yeah,
Goddamn.
no, it's no. That's another great thing about Terminal Secrets is it is a great way to mix things up a bit.
All right, guys. Terminal Secrets has reached 100 views.
Has it? All right.
Nice.
Any comments so far?
Nice.
Yeah, what are the comments?
Let's see. Comments.
This is bullshit.
How many are there?
This is shit.
There are 4.
Cool.
Says nice outro music. Sean Freelancer.
Yes. That is
Sanguinem Luna says another awesome chapter to Terminal Secrets and good company while tracking across virtual America and Virtual Truck Simulator 2.
Oh, God.
That's the next chapter. Sean Freelancer says, "Oh, Pony Boy, here we go."
Yeah.
And CD Blake says, "Awesome."
Yay!
I both on here too.
Of course. That was the first one. Awesome.
Yeah.
That is
Somehow you said it
really...
3 days ago before.
I'm so glad he went. I'm so glad he went with that outro music.
I like
14 likes.
Nice.
Yep.
No,
Zero
this-
dislikes, right?
Just like with episode 1,
Apparently.
this is one where I could fill in definitely more of the middle. Like we could do behind the scenes or additional scenes for like what the stables were like because it's so fun just coming up with the raw concept of how these operate and thinking about like, wow, this would really suck to live, your everyday life in a place like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm,
I mean, that's
absolutely,
literally why
because-
Terminal Secrets is so good. It just
It's one of
explores
the-
everything you wanted to explore.
And one of the thing, so when Terminal Secrets, because Terminal Secrets has a 6-episode plan, so we are halfway through, by the way, everyone. We're halfway done.
Yes.
But when Terminal Secrets is finished with episode 6, it's not technically done. So Terminal Secrets will also have a supplementary series after it leaves.
So it's like an arc. We're like doing an arc thing.
Not necessarily. So when this arc ends, what we will then do is
We are doing an arc thing because you just said.
Sorry. When the story ends, we will then be abandoned. We will not be telling anything else with regards to the analyst stable. What we will be doing is we'll every now and then, and not on a regular basis. This will be more of a random thing. Whenever the writers feel like it is, we'll decide. Okay, cool. I want to tell this experiment, and we will tell purely the stable parts without the analyst stuff. So it won't have a linking framing device in between like this version does. It'll just be there so we can continue exploring these stables because they're such a wonderful thing to do, and just limiting it to 6 episodes would suck.
Yeah.
That's also how the Patreon reward is going to work. So if you're listening to this and you are curious, I think we should just clear up a little bit on how we're going to handle the Patreon rewards.
Oh yeah.
So with Terminal Secrets, the episodes that you write will be 20 minutes long. They won't be full 40-minute episodes. We will be working with you to make sure that they are the best they can possibly be. But they will also be purely the stable experiments. You won't be writing for the Crusader mainframe or Butterfly Stitch or Spare Parts or Blue Ball. You'll just be running the stable experiments because obviously we have this main story that we want to work on, and we don't we're not really going to sell away for obvious reasons. The whole artistic integrity thing. We have a little bit of artistic integrity, not a little
In the
bit.
famous words of an emperor, no touching.
No touching.
And in a similar way, if anyone wants to write a Confessions episode, there's basically a canonical point in the master story where that episode or those episodes, depending on how many we get, would fit. And it would be a similar thing where basically it's totally standalone from, this master plan that I'm concocting. But it'll be fun. I mean, I might have a few of my own stories in the middle there just for the heck of it that are separate from the main story because I have a lot of stuff left on the cutting room floor that are like more funny or just didn't fit in with the overall storyline. And yeah, it would be a good time. And so yeah, we'd help you tool it and do a little bit of polishing on the back end, and then it'd be good times.
Yeah.
And that also kind of feeds into what we want to do with the once again, it's also we added it into the Patreon at the $1,000 sort of goal, and this is something Sky and I wanted to do for a long time, and this will just help us accomplish it. We're going to try and do it without meeting the goal, but the goal will help us. So is we want to do the the hard copy director's cuts of Confessions and Terminal Secrets.
That would be
You
so
get the
cool.
disc, you get discs, you get art books depicting scenes, you get the concept art, it includes deleted scenes, alternate scenes. So, when Skybolt originally pitched the first episode of Terminal Secrets, it had this fantastic arc in it that just didn't make it into the final cut. And the same with Terminal Secrets, where the original version of it was about an hour. Sorry, it was about an hour longer, but I had to cut it, unfortunately, to keep the production time shorter. And so all of that stuff we want to add back in. We want to, not in a Star Wars special edition kind of way. This is all strictly non-canon. It's just take a look at what else we did. For our deleted scenes.
And a
you
lot
can
of
call
them are
them.
fun. They're really just like sort of world building things associated with those specific those specific plot lines. Again, like just more stories and more characters in those tables before they went totally off the rails. Like, again, assuming you've heard Terminal Secrets Episode 3, Hunger, before listening to this, it'd be like the whole time period where they are sterilizing the deformed ponies. Like that, I got half an hour's worth of writing on that I could easily put together. And that would be fun. Yeah.
Fun.
Yes.
And of course, there is so much content that we could come up just based around episode 4 of Terminal Secrets, which we can't talk about, but we teased it a little bit in the poster for our new Terminal Secrets poster, which Striped Spectre, who's now called Zeplich. Is that what he's called?
Apparently.
Yes,
Zip,
Zeplich. He's changed his name to Zeplich, but who did our fantastic new Terminal Secrets art. Episode 4 is a weird one, but so cool. It was one of those ideas where the writer pitched it to me, and I just needed the concept to greenlight it.
Hurry up and send me the
So
script I want to see.
Oh, he needs to finish writing the script.
Yeah, and then
my
as soon as I
God!
have it too, then I can get to
My
finishing my
God.
script for episode 5, which is also going to be fun.
Ooh.
And then I need
Hey.
to write my script for episode 6, and then it'll be done.
The
shit.
Yay, I mean, aw.
Hey,
Aw.
try finding another butterfly stitch.
Please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
Yeah.
Again?
Don't leave. Please don't go.
You can't leave
Neil.
us. You're not allowed to.
You're not allowed to leave.
Oh.
You physically
Yeah.
can't
Don't
leave.
forget, you're here forever.
Yes. Besides, you're the only girl here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah, well, we have
guys,
hit
get the girl in the chat. Oh my god. What do we do?
What the fuck?
Yeah. And apparently, Needle's the most fun out of all of us because the rest, we all had boring New Year's Eve parties. Except me, I had an amazing New Year's Eve party, actually.
I didn't even have
Needle,
fun.
I don't know what
apparently-
you're talking about. Watching anime is the best way to spend New Year's.
Oh,
That's true.
Neil.
That's true.
But
I was reading Star Wars.
I think
Well,
I come in second for New Year's Eve. I started the evening off drinking. I ended the evening jumping into a pool, and then I spent the rest of the evening wandering around in my underwear and a blazer. Nothing else.
I spent it sick at home playing Fallout 4.
I'm just not a party guy. I don't party.
Yeah, I had the most exciting one.
Oh yes, I played Fallout 4 the whole fucking day.
I would play Fallout 4, but my computer can't handle it.
Oh.
Miss Stitch,
Yes?
well, tell us about your party. Make us
Oh,
feel bad.
your room party. Okay, so
Yeah.
I was at a convention.
Mm-hmm.
It's called NewCon, and it's a convention that happens either on New Year's weekend or close to New Year's weekend
Okay.
here in Portland. And I was there with some of my friends, and one of my friends was special guesting. So we all just kind of decided to hang out and go to the Cosplay Deviants party. For those of you who don't know what Cosplay Deviants is, it's porn.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Porn stars have the best party.
And
Yeah.
we go there, and my friend Spike, he's just like, hey, do you want a drink? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take a drink. He gives me a drink, and it's this thing called the Incredible Hulk, and
Oh no.
it's sour apple Midori, club soda, and one other thing I don't remember. I had 2 of those, and I felt fine. And then they started passing out the champagne at about 11:30. And so I was standing there sipping my champagne, talking to my friend Ryan, who I see on a regular basis at various MLP conventions. And next thing I know is we're looking at the stage, and one of the cosplay girls who's dressed up as Mercy, she's dancing around on the pole, and she takes her top off.
Oh man, that is a much
Oh,
better night than
my.
I had.
And we all just kind of, like, we're all dancing, and then we all stop, and we stare, and we're just like, that's a thing. That is.
Well, she had, someone had to break the glass. I mean, yeah, now the party begins.
But we think she got a talking to because shortly after she came back with her top on.
Aww.
So we think she got a talking to.
Someone's a buzzkill.
And then I decided I wanted to dance, but I couldn't dance because I had the champagne flute in my hand. So I downed the champagne.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
I start dancing, and I'm cosplaying as Vinyl Scratch at this point, okay? So this is only fitting. And I'm handed another champagne flute by one of the waiters. And I'm standing here like, fuck, I want to dance, but I have this champagne flute. Down the champagne flute.
Again.
Yep. Dancing around. My stomach starts to feel kind of funny, and I'm handed another champagne flute. And one of the cosplay deviant girls, she comes up to me and we start dancing together. And I was like, hold on, I don't want to spill my champagne on you. Downs the champagne.
Holy cow.
Wow.
Is that 3 or 4?
This is 3 so far in the span of 15 minutes.
Damn.
Okay? Dancing around with my friend Ryan, having a good time, okay? 5 minutes before midnight, handed another champagne flute.
Jeez.
This time, I stand there, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to save this champagne for midnight. I'm going to do it. And then somebody bumps into me, and I spill a little bit on my hand, and I'm like, oh, damn, well,
God.
downs the champagne flute.
I got handed to
Everyone
those bartenders. They they know how to keep a party going.
Right?
Right.
And so I, afterwards I'm like, just dancing around, chilling, and then I grab my friend Ryan's arm, and I'm like, Ryan. He's like, what? I'm like, Ryan, I need to sit down. And he goes, oh shit, are you okay? And I was like, I need to sit down right now. So he holds onto my arm, and he leads me over to a chair, and I sit down. And he's like, stay here. I'm gonna go get you some water. So, okay, so I'm sitting there. Next thing I know, I kind of just start listing to the side.
Naturally.
And my friend Spike sees me, and he grabs me, and he goes, we're getting you to a chair. So he sits me on a chair, and he puts another chair right beside me, so in case I list over, at least I'm listing over onto the chair. And Ryan hands me water. He's like, drink it slowly. I down the thing of water really fast. And he's like, I said slowly, Stitch. And I was like, okay, all right. Can I have another one? He goes, yes, I'll go get you another one. So he goes, he can get me another one. And he's like, slowly this time, goddammit. So I drink it slowly this time. And he goes, I'm going to go over to the bathroom. Do you have people here who will take care of you? And I point over to my friend Spike, and I was like, the dude in the Godzilla Kigu. That's my homie. And he goes, oh, okay, all right. So he taps Spike on the shoulder, and he lets him know I'm sitting down still. And Spike's just like, all right, cool. I stand up after maybe 5 minutes, and I said, Spike, I need to go back to the room. He's like, are you okay? And I was like, I need to go back to the room. All right. Go back to the room. I sit down, and I'm feeling totally fine. I'm just a little bit hot and overheated. I'm texting on my phone. I'm pretty sure I'm texting James at this point.
Pretty sure.
Texting on my
Yeah.
phone, and next thing I know, my phone right on my face just falls.
Oh no!
No.
And I bit my lip a little bit, and I just kind of look at Spike, and I start pouting, and he's like, "What did you do? Did you just hit yourself in the face with your phone?" Yeah. Are you okay? I think I'm bleeding.
Oh my god!
You're not bleeding. No, I'm pretty
Oh, yeah,
sure you're bleeding. You're not bleeding. But what's this stuff on my face? That's grenadine.
Oh, okay.
You had a drink with grenadine in it. Okay. And then I get up. I was like, all right, I've cooled down. I've had some more water. I feel fine now. I get up and I'm ready to go back to the party. And Spike and his wife are like, no, you stay here. But I want to go dance. No, you stay here with Katie. All right. So I sit down and I lay on the bed. Katie's like, I feel like shit. My stomach kind of hurts. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. She goes, yeah. And so we start talking, and she's like, I'm going to go take a shower. I said, okay. I sit up really fast, and I sit at the edge of the bed. She goes, are you okay? And I was like, no. No, I'm not okay. No, I'm fine. I'm good. All right, I'm good. She goes, she goes, yeah, I'm good. Good. She's like, okay. And she sits on the bed next to me. It's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, no, I'm fine. You need to go shower. She goes, no, I'm going to wait until you're okay in case you yak.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So we're sitting there and we're talking about comic books. Like, we're talking about, like, DC and Marvel comic books and everything. And I stand up and I was like, Katie, do you have any Tums? And she goes, yeah, why? And I was like, I need some Tums. She goes, okay. I sit down on the toilet in the bathroom and I eat one of the Tums and I feel like shit. And then I feel fine 10 seconds later. So I eat the second Tum. Tums?
Antacids.
Yeah.
For,
yeah, they're antacids.
Right, okay.
And I eat the second one and I'm sitting there and I feel like shit and then I feel totally fine. She goes, how you feeling, Stitch? I'm fine, I'm good. You sure? Oh yeah, I'm totally fine. Blah!
Oh.
God.
All in the sink. I was right next to the sink, so it was totally fine. All in the sink. And she goes, you okay? So, oh yeah, I feel fine. Are you sure? She's like, are you sure this time? I was like, yeah. Oh my god, why is it red? Oh my god.
Why is it red?
Why is it red? And she goes, shut up, you just had Tums and they were pink. I said, oh.
And the grenadine, I'd assume.
Yeah.
I just found the chat log, Needle.
Oh god.
Is all of this
I just
accurate,
did-
James, or is she remembering it completely wrong?
Oh no, she's remembering accurately. The beginning of the beginning is all caps. I'm drinking,
All right.
and then that's 8 o'clock in the morning for me. So I'm hungover, and I want her to suffer as a result, as well. So I
Oh,
just
that's
say,
nice.
chug, 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 chug. Then she responds, still in all caps. She is still in all caps. I appreciate the encouragement.
Woo, lads.
But okay, so after I threw up, like, I was legit fine, okay? And I laid down, and Katie and I just keep talking about comic books, and she goes, okay, I really need a shower now. I said, all right. She hops in the shower, and I hear the sound of water running, but not hitting a body. It's just falling straight to the ground. And I'm like, Katie, you okay? She goes, no, blah!
She saw it.
Oh my god.
And she thankfully she was in the shower, so she just kind of threw up in the shower. And then afterwards, we're laying down and watching Civil War. We're watching
Cool.
Captain America: Civil War.
Mhm.
And Spike and Megan come back, and Megan's like, Kimmy, how you feeling? Your tummy okay? I was like, I threw up twice. And she goes, told you.
What the fuck?
Fucking bitch, Megan. She goes, yep, I know. And then eventually I head home. I wake up the next morning feeling totally fine, not hungover whatsoever. I go back to the convention, and all of my friends are like, oh man, I'm so hungover. Oh man, I feel like shit. And I'm like, I feel fine. You threw up yesterday. Yeah, I feel fine. I don't have a headache or anything.
Got it all out of your system.
Right?
Yeah.
That water probably helped.
Yeah, I probably did. And the chicken that I had earlier. Well, actually,
yeah.
I lost the chicken, but still.
Chicken
But yeah,
solves everything.
That's what I did for New Year's. And James was very kind in being encouraging to my drinking.
If I had to be hungover, you had to be hungover too.
But I don't usually get hungover. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, some people don't. It's all about how
I
your
hate
liver
those-
metabolizes things.
It's
Those
that
people are
German
the
liver,
worst.
though.
Or doesn't.
Yeah.
Nah.
Like I have my liver is really good at metabolizing things, which is why caffeine doesn't affect me
Oh, that's
at all, pretty much.
That does suck.
Caffeine doesn't affect me at all.
Yeah,
That's
because
That's
it's
unfortunate.
just a hereditary thing. Your the way it metabolizes in your liver produces a certain amount of a chemical. The more of it produces, the faster it metabolizes, and the less effect it would have on you. And the only way for it to affect you is if for you to drink like toxic amounts.
All right.
That's
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 hard.
Allow me to put a Dr. Glass on your face. Allow me to...
So if I ever get into drinking, I
God.
wonder if it will even affect me.
My God.
See, I just
If you ever get into drinking,
those
you should
problems.
hit me up. I make the best drinks.
I probably
Oh.
won't. I don't
Ain't
plan
no
on
part
it.
of like a vinyl scratch party.
I can party without drinks.
Oh,
Trust me, I'm
speaking
stupid
of
enough.
Vinyl scratch party. So yesterday
Mhm.
was the 4-year birth, I guess, of my vinyl scratch cosplay,
All right.
and I'm still rocking it.
Yay!
I found
That's
some
it.
of the original pictures, and I was like, my God, these are bad.
Oh.
It was funny because I
How we
woke
all
up this
feel.
morning and I told my friend Buttons, or I woke up yesterday morning and I told my friend Buttons, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna cosplay as Vinyl today, and she goes, yeah, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna cosplay as Vinyl today. I'm going through the memories thing on Facebook, and it's like, oh yeah, 4 years ago you cosplayed as Vinyl Scratch, and I was like, holy balls, man, it's been 4 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time of the fandom, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And it's just still going strong.
Yeah, I mean, it's going better than I expected at this point, honestly.
Especially if you, I don't know,
People
I
looking
don't
in
know
the
if any-
fandom, and they're like, "Oh, see, yeah, that thing's only gonna last for like 2 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
2 years."
Oh, why?
anyone who says that the Brony fandom is dead, all you need to do to correct that is just show them the Brony's 2016 video that just got released earlier today, like 2 hours ago.
Oh, it was in the Bronies 2015 one.
What?
Really?
Yeah,
Sick.
it was pretty cool. I was going through it, and it's like some pictures were of me
That's it.
cosplaying, and I was like, oh my God, that's me.
They were, I don't,
Well, yeah, you have-
exactly. It's like it's the equivalent, the Brony equivalent to the Rewind, and there's just such. I didn't actually realize how much content there was, and that was all the good content.
Yeah, that's the thing. A
Yeah.
lot of
They
people who
left
say
out-
the
they
fandom is
left
dead
out a
are basically
lot.
only people that paid attention to like the very first big artists and stuff. It's like so much has changed in the last 3 years.
There are so many more. There are so many more content creators out there for it now, and they are so good.
Yeah, it's like, not to toot my own horn, but I still can't believe how underrated L Train's Moonrise and Fall of an Empire are. It's like neither of them
Oh.
have crossed 1 million
Yeah,
views yet, and I'm like, man, these are full operas for like, you know, freaking magical horse royalty.
Moonrise is still my shit. I love it. Like, God, I will listen to that thing anytime.
I prefer
One of the things
Fall
that I
of Crystal
really-
Empire.
I also prefer Fall of an Empire to Moonrise. I felt Fall of an Empire had a lot more nuance to it. The way that between the lyrics and the instrumentals, the ability to repeat themselves at exactly the right points throughout Fall of an Empire really gave it weight. Choosing the right moment to mention the whole heavy crown thing, choosing the right moment to sing a line in Heaven's Fury that sounds really similar to a line to how a line was sung in Welcome to the Empire. All of that stuff just works together very nicely, where Moonrise is solid, but Fall of an Empire does that so much better.
Yeah, we worked really hard on getting like a lot of motifs to come back at just the right times and linking it all up and the symbolism. Like, I remember early on, because the songs were more or less written chronologically, actually. Or so early on when we got Heavy is the Crown together, I was so excited to do the whole, like, the mimicking thing where, Luna is sort of the one being talked to, and then she's forced to be in the position of the one rejecting Sombra, and so you sort of feel her being just like a puppet or placed in the middle. It's like she doesn't have the agency. She doesn't fight enough for them. And
then, of course, at the end, she mirrors that with a totally different attitude in Heaven's Fury, where she's now talking to Sombra again, and you've got the heavy crown motif coming back, but this time she's got the agency of she's making a solid choice, even if it's against Sombra for a second time.
Yeah, it was fun.
I may have listened to Fall of an Empire a few times.
Yeah.
A few times.
Few times? Few hundred times? Half of those
Have it on repeat.
Not the whole thing. Like, as much as I love all of them, there is the one song on there that I'm not the biggest fan of, which is the Sombra's transformation song.
Oh yeah, it's definitely he put a lot of different variety into some of the songs. So more so than
I definitely feel like it was the weakest. I can find something that's really amazing in all of the others, though. So I usually focus on those, specifically, the chorus to Fall of an Empire. Literally everything in Heavy is the Crown and Heaven's Fury, and just oh my God, Kingdoms Divided, the choir in Kingdoms Divided.
Yeah, that was really good. No, because that was really my biggest problem with Moonrise was I hated when everyone called it like one song, and I'm like, it's not one song, it's fucking 7 separate songs, and that drove me crazy. And I didn't like lecture him or anything, but like I know I mentioned that to L Train at one point. I don't think he liked that impression either. So for Fall of an Empire, it was definitely like we wanted it to be a full musical, a full, work, not just one extended song because of all the frickin' metal bros that treat their music that way.
All the music, all the songs, definitely, they sound different, which is not something, and yes, I'm going to get a little bit salty here, it's something that is missing in the most recent Metallica album.
Oh, really? I actually haven't heard it yet.
I was so excited for it because I love Metallica, and I actually really enjoy Death Magnetic, and obviously I skipped the bullshit one they did with Lou Reed because the fuck was that? But then they did but then Hardwired was announced, and I heard the first song, which was really solid, and then the rest of the album sucked. Like, you can listen to one song off of that album, and then and then every other song basically sounds like that.
Oh, really?
Some of the music videos are really cool though. Like I'd suggest going through the album on YouTube for the music videos, because there are some great ones there, like Confusion, which does PTSD for a war veteran who's now doing an office job, and they get the frantic anxiety and confusion out. But the actual music is just, it all sounds the same as the last song.
Oh, no.
It also doesn't help that around the same time, I don't know if any of you are familiar with Skillet.
Oh yeah, they just released a new album, didn't they?
Yeah, they just released their new album, And not only did they change their sound in a pretty large way, like it's a lot more. It's got a lot more pop to it, but in a still heavy
Casca's
rocky
not playing with
way.
it anymore.
But it works. It works so well. But they take pains to make sure that every song sounds different. It's not their strongest album. It's not. But
Comatose was their strongest album.
I like
agree.
Comatose, but I think Rise was their best album. I loved it's just every time a new song came on, I just freaked out. I loved
Rise was very much like diversing the songs. You can't say like Rise and what was the other song? Sick of It. Those two sound totally different. But
exactly,
like,
and then there's
but the
Circus
other one
for
you kind of
Psycho,
compare
which
some of them. Circus for a Psycho, yeah, that was another good one.
that was just mind blowing. And whilst I'm not the biggest fan, I'm not the biggest fan of some of their more obvious Christian music, but My Religion really, really got to me. I'm not a Christian, but it made me understand why they are so devout. It was that, like, if that makes any sense. I understood why they're as devout as they are without really. And I thought that was a really, man, I love that band. They're very, very good.
What other music? Yeah, we could talk music for a little bit. What else came out this year? I'm trying to remember.
Going back to
Nightwish released their new album this year. Endless Forms Most Beautiful.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. I liked
That was
Endless Forms. It wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't like I like the older Nightwish there because it was a lot darker music. I find like when they wrote a song about Columbine there, the Columbine shooting. Then there was
back during the Tarja days.
Slaying the Dreamer, Tarja days, I guess. But even into the Annette days.
I loved Annette.
I don't know. I'm kind of split on her voice, but Ghost River was amazing. I love Ghost River.
Yeah.
Here we go down. I can't do my death voice.
Here we go down. Get me down.
I just ate apple crumble. Yeah. I can't do that.
Guys.
Eva,
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been trying to like get a word in edgewise.
Sorry.
Going back to the Metallica thing.
Oh yeah.
Our favorite manliest brony is in one of the Metallica music videos.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Really?
Which one? Cat.
Really, he is.
Dusty Cat?
Yeah.
Really? Huh.
That is wow. That's cool.
Which one's he in?
Let me see if I can look it up real quick. I don't remember the name, but I met up with him at Nightmare Nights Dallas, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be in this, but you can't say anything right now because it hasn't been released. But now I can say stuff because it's been released."
Yeah, because they're both Bay Area natives, right? So.
Yep, they're really good friends.
Whoa.
Although
Hetfield's no longer living in the Bay Area.
Yeah, good, because it's freaking terrible down here. My rent went up another $100 a month 2 months ago, and they just every time.
Keep pushing.
Yeah, just keep pushing. I'll move out completely. Freaking, I mean, California just doesn't want me to stay here with all my freaking 1% money. That's fine. I can take it somewhere else. I swear to God, now California wants to secede, and I'm like, no. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to vote for the 6th state movement, just so they stop being this like massive power force in everything. It's just ridiculous how we are enslaved to the idiots in Sacramento.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's a digression.
Halo on Fire.
Halo on Fire. Really? Okay, I'm gonna check that out. That sounds good.
Yeah, that's.
I'll take a look at it and keep.
What is he guesting as in there? Is like I'm guessing just a
the brony
guitarist or something.
There's a crowd of people and he's in the crowd.
Oh, okay.
Like right
It's gonna be hard to
front
find.
center though.
That's pretty awesome, though. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think didn't Megadeth release their album this year, or was that last year?
I'm not sure.
You guys are all gonna sit here and talk about these albums and I'm just gonna sit by and be like, I mainly watch stuff on YouTube.
Oh, no, that's fine. No, actually, speaking of less famous music or like off metal, Owl City this year has been doing something really cool. Adam Young, he's been doing his
He's been
Adam
great.
Young Scores albums. So, like, at the beginning of each month, he releases, like, a little, like, 20 to 30 minute. I mean, it's a decent EP of just some concept. Like, it's sort of like a demo reel for a movie score. And so he's done stuff on, like, the Titanic or climbing Everest, storming the beaches of Normandy, and all sorts of really neat. And all the albums have a really unique feel to them. He did one on the Civil War that actually was really cool. Like, just some...
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's probably one of my favorites. And then he did a Voyager album that has this really cool, like, backbeat to it. So it's just neat how he's doing this experimentation. And so I'm sure he'll have a movie score sometime in the next 2 years.
Wasn't his Adam Young movie score thing, though, like, wasn't that just a big project he was working on that he basically said, oh, hey, guys, here's it's sort of competition, but not really. You guys use my songs and create, like, little stories behind it with your videos or whatever.
If that's a thing, then I'd be happy to use his songs, but...
He's that's what I believe it was. He made an announcement video
that would be cool. It's, and so I think there's going to be 12 in total, and I think the last one should be out any day now, because it's the 1st of January, so...
I'm always looking forward to Adam Young's music.
It's good stuff. I've been a fan of Owl City ever since Ocean Eyes, so yeah.
And I'm just kicking back here like I only understand metal. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Actually, speaking of metal, we could go back. I got the new Demon Hunter album this year too. That was really good.
Demon Hunter.
I can't do the screamo because I'm not good at screamoing, but they have really good harmonies, and I love that. So.
We should put that as a Patreon tier.
You're not good at screaming? Come on, man. You just have to harness your inner demon.
I make attempts whenever
just
I'm singing a star.
MLP Screamo.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I did that. MLP Screamo?
I'll say I'm not.
The most screamo song I think I ever remember was that very first the very first BronyCon album, the 100% No Feeble Cheering, and there was that one song called like Breaking Bonds or whatever, and one of those guys screams like crazy. There's some song on that album.
But it's not you screaming.
No, it's not me screaming. It's I think the closest I get to like kind of that kind of music is when I attempted the Sound of Silence cover thing that Disturbed did. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Speaking of the screamo, My Little Pony, Secret Metal did that, a black metal version, like true cult stuff.
Oh yeah.
Black metal, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a good voice, absolutely.
He does amazing clean vocal and amazing like high pitched screams and amazing like low guttural growls. I can only get the low guttural growls, and I can't do that right now.
And great guitar solos, is definitely.
He can play guitar too.
His guitar solos are pretty prominent in things like Fall of an Empire
and Moonrise, absolutely. Yeah, no, it was a good year, and of course now 2017 is the year of the movie, so we're gonna see how that figures into everything, and season 7, and holy cow, it's crazy.
Better be hype. Hype. Better be hype.
Yeah,
hype.
I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see how the movie goes, and just see if it. I think you'll see quite a large spike in fandom activity.
God damn it!
You always see a spike in fandom activity after like a show, or not a show, a movie comes out.
Yeah.
Especially like Rainbow Rocks was like the last big thing with the movie, I think, and then like Friendship Games and the last one were just little blips. Little blips.
Yeah.
Yeah, whilst Friendship Games was
they
really solid, it didn't. Whilst Friendship Games was a solid movie, it just didn't have the marketing. And then there was, of course. Well, we've talked about our opinions on the Equestria Girls series before in a previous podcast. You can go take a look at those over there. We don't need
Funny thing that I don't think I mentioned in that though, like about the Legend of Everfree. I actually did not know that it was a movie continuing the Equestria Girls series until a month before.
Oh, yeah. No,
I
know,
heard the name flew around, but I didn't know it was an actual thing until then.
Don't
I was
worry.
like, oh, this is a thing?
Hasbro probably didn't know about it until the last second either.
Yeah, I gotta watch them all
they
back
didn't
to
know
back
it was-
again just to see if they do fit together. Because I know the first 3 do, but not sure about.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
I
the first
haven't watched any of them.
It worked so nice as a trilogy. The fall and rise of Sunset Shimmer.
Yeah.
Can't flim flam the shim sham.
Can we just
But
have
they had
them
to bring back
not
Midnight
have
Sparkle.
Human
They
Twilight?
had to forward on the toy line.
Can we not have
Mhm.
Human Twilight? Can we just like get rid of her?
I know. She's
We don't need her.
Mm. I don't
She just
like
needs to kill Human Twilight like she killed the real world Sunset Shimmer.
She just causes problems too. It's
Every time.
not good.
Yeah. She creates a magic Pandora's box and just screw things up with everyone. It's like, no, go away.
Twilight.
Go
Oh,
away.
Twilight, you saved the day. Yeah, but she also
more
kind of wrecked
toys.
it first.
Yeah, it's almost
You
like
know?
Inspector Gadget. You saved the day from yourself. It's like, oh.
Twice. Nah, she's not twice yet. Probably gonna happen twice though.
Yeah. I gotta go back and rewatch the old seasons too. I can't remember the last time like watched anything before like season 5.
I remember doing something at some point. I was just like doing chores around the house, and for some reason my YouTube on its autoplay made its way to My Little Pony, and
Naturally.
somehow, yeah, and it was just the actual full episodes. So I was listening to the actual full episodes while I was doing stuff, and I could just see it in my head. I was like, oh, I remember this.
Yeah.
Don't need to watch it.
Yeah, see, I have a 10-year-old brother and a 2.5-year-old sister, so I watch My Little Pony regularly.
See, now I have a niece who is almost 1 year old, so I'm gonna probably have a second wave when she's old enough, and I can, that's gonna be.
You'll introduce her to it, and she'll be like, ew, that's for boys.
Yeah, that's basically where we're at now as a society. Gosh.
I have 4 younger brothers, and the 2 youngest ones are 9, and one just turned 4.
Nice.
And the 4-year-old, he loves My Little Pony. Okay, his favorite character, so proud, is Vinyl Scratch.
Oh.
Yeah, boy.
But
My boy.
Vinyl Scratch to him isn't Vinyl Scratch or DJ Pony. That's Kimmy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Because
remember you
adorable.
told us
my
about this.
cosplay. So sometimes he forgets he has an older sister, and he'll go around and tell everybody, "Oh yeah, this is my sister. She's a magical unicorn." And I'm just like, "Yes."
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's cool.
That's
Yes,
great.
you better believe I'm a magical goddamn unicorn.
But I also do Ariel from The Little Mermaid. So he can't figure out how I am a mermaid and a unicorn at the same time.
Well,
It's
my-
unicorn. It's unicorn magic.
I told him I'm a
Remember
mermaid.
when Neon Lights voice?
Mermacorn. That's pretty good.
God damn it.
Yeah.
All right, so it is currently 2:00 in the morning. Well, it's about to be, in fact, 20 to 2. And I would not mind going to sleep. I probably won't, but I would like to try.
Yeah,
What
no,
is
I
sleep?
think we've covered quite a bit. And, yeah, hopefully everyone enjoys Terminal Secrets 3, and we'll cover more questions and fun facts after we get more comments next time.
Hold on.
Speaking of
Do-
Terminal
do
Secrets, I need
check
to watch
first
the
before we
entire
take
series.
off.
And
You
please give us money.
Yes. If
Hey,
you'd
I'll
like
give you
to
money
hear more
once you give me some money, because I have no money.
Yeah.
We are officially at 130 views.
All right.
And still same amount of comments.
Yeah, our comment section's usually quite
Teeny.
small. Yeah, it's
Yeah. It depends on the video, too, because, you can find huge, really popular videos with barely any comments, and then smaller videos with hella comments.
This will be good though because
Yeah.
this should get us on Equestria Daily, and now all the
Yeah.
normal fans will realize, oh yeah, they're not on this other channel anymore,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
they'll come
But
back.
That other channel.
But hey, the
Okay.
upside is
Hopefully we'll
the
get
upside
a full.
for
Hopefully we'll get a. Hopefully this Terminal Secrets will be a full feature. It usually does. It usually does.
Mhm.
But before we had the stable tech name to give to Equestria Daily, so they were able to be like, okay, cool. Well, they've done confessions, so we'll trust this. Or I don't know how they decide what gets full feature or what doesn't get full feature. So I'm still not sure whether or not. I don't want to get. Please don't give us 90 Roundup,
Admin
please.
biased.
I can
Please,
say
I'm begging you.
one big upside about Terminal Secrets and all these things being really long is YouTube's change in algorithm supporting watch time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime
So-
YouTube
Yeah.
modifies the algorithm, it's like, oh my gosh, can you guys just stop, please?
Yeah, but it benefits us kind of because long episodes and people watch really long episodes.
Yeah.
It only benefits us really if we have a sponsor,
Yeah,
which we don't.
Which we,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it just
We have
I mean
two
it all
sponsors, we have
depends
two.
if the people that have watched it at least halfway or over.
Is that what it is? now?
Also, hopefully we'll
Yeah,
get some...
because they judge their thing in mainly watch time.
Why
So
would
if you get like a
have,
small
like-
video per se that has someone watches all the way through, that's someone watched 3 minutes of a video or 5 or 10 minutes of video, but we have like a 40-minute video. If someone watches that all the way through, they're like, oh my god, they watched 40 minutes. This must be really good. Or even if they watch half of it, they watched 20 minutes of this. That must be good. So it's like,
Supposedly it got changed from that though.
Yeah,
Waiting period
and
has
hopefully
been
we'll
on
get
it.
some kind of ad sharing thing too. That's definitely helped
Oh,
me
yeah.
on my normal Skybolt channel.
whew.
You got ad sharing and everything?
I do. I'm Channel Frederator Network for 2 years now.
Oh, I didn't know you were on Channel Frederator.
Yeah, I put my it in the banner and everything, and they cut me a check once every couple months.
That's cool. I actually really like Channel Frederator. Like, it's cool shit. That's awesome.
It's
Cool.
been good to me so far. So I'll take some money over no monies. That's for sure.
Right?
I'm just kind of that
I get money,
weirdo that
no one
keeps
else
saying
will
to
be.
myself that even if I get popular at all on any of these on YouTube, I just don't want to sign in with a network.
See, the key is to just do it because you like it, and like unless you
Yeah.
really are going full career, then you might have to go for what's popular. But yeah, I just do what's fun when I have free time, and if I get money for it, like that's great. Like for instance, I should probably say thank you for people who listened. My Christmas song this year, the Deck the Halls with Raiders. I didn't know they were doing the contest, but I submitted that for Pony FM's Christmas contest, and I got second place. So I actually got a little prize for that.
Wow, nice,
Yeah,
nice.
That was fun. So thank you for anyone who listened on Pony FM, because that's what mattered there.
Does anyone really use Pony FM anymore?
I like it as an alternate download source. That's why I still upload.
Yeah.
there.
All right, cool. So we've got to wrap it up now.
All right.
I hate to be that guy.
How are
Oh, what
we
kind of
gonna
wrapping
end
paper do you
this?
want?
No, so thank you everyone
Thank
for
you,
listening
Muffin.
and enjoying our stuff, and tell your friends. We're almost at 1,000, and I'll be uploading Confessions 5 soon-ish. We'll see what happens.
What are we gonna do when we hit 1,000, guys?
I know, we got to come up with something.
Ooh.
It'll be fun. And it'll be East Corp fun. It'll be
It'll be corporate.
It'll be terrific, guys. We'll
It'll be
have
fun.
the most terrific video.
We like to have fun here.
I think what we should do is we should do like a one-on-one Q&A with somebody, but you have to like share and like the video and shit and be subscribed.
Likes don't matter.
Yeah. We should.
Fuck you.
Shares matter though.
Positive
That
comments
equals
matter.
views.
Dab.
We should
what I
do
tried.
porn.
Oh, yeah.
Do what?
Nothing.
What did you say?
Porn? Is
What's
that what
that?
you said?
I didn't.
Oh, porn.
No.
Okay, allow me to help you with that.
Hey guys, new Patreon goal at $1 million. You get nudes of your choosing.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh my god.
No.
Okay, so with that
We'll-
fantastic send-off, we'd like to say Happy New
Is
Year,
everybody now
2017.
thoroughly
Happy New Year,
Because
everybody.
It is the year
Happy
of
New
East
Year.
Corp, and we have a lot of great stuff in the pipeline. So we will be talking to
Happy
you more
New
soon.
Year!
Happy 12,017.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye.